Welcome back, everybody. We are going to go ahead and study together, okay? I am actually done with the muscular system, okay? So I'm ready to do the quiz, all right? So I'm going to start the quiz with you. And this is another app that I've got that I'm actually using for my HesiA2. I hope that you are enjoying this. If you are, make sure you comment something. And, let's go ahead and study together, right? Here we go. And these are questions that are going to be on your HESI because I recognize some of them. So very important. I'm hoping that these will be here for whoever wants to keep practicing, right? So let's start with the question. All right, up and foremost, we have, which of the following correctly describes the function of the muscular system? Is it the movement and regulation of respiration, the movement and acquired immunity, posture or secondary sex characteristics, posture and thermal regulation? Take a second there. And I'm gonna get closer because I'm so far away. I don't know why. Let me get my mouse a little bit closer. All right. I am going to go with posture and thermal regulation. Let's go ahead and check. And green means it's correct. And look, this one has a little explanation, okay? So make sure that you are turning around and reading the explanation. You can pause the video, right? Which type of muscles have striated muscle fibers that join at the intercalated discs? Okay, is that going to be a smooth muscle, a cardiac muscle, a skeletal muscle, or vascular muscles? I'll give you a second, okay? And I am going to pick cardiac muscle, because this right here, guys, is the main word that I think everybody should remember. Is associated with the heart, okay? Striated muscles, okay? And intercalated discs. Excuse me. That is correct. And here it explains again, okay? For all of you, you can just pause it. We're gonna move on. Which of the following correctly describes the skeletal muscles? Skeletal being your keyword here. Are they spindle-shaped, multinucleated, non-striated fibers? Are they spindle-shaped, non-striated fibers with a single nucleus? Are they striated, multinucleated, cylindrical fibers? Branched, striated fibers with a single nucleus? All right, I'll give you a second. And I am going to go with striated, multinucleated, cylindrical fibers, okay? And of course, I've had like 4 lessons or something, and they go over all this, right? But here's your explanation, and it'll tell you about all the different muscles, if I'm not mistaken, right? Okay, which of the following contains non-striated muscle fibers? So we know the skeletal has striated and cylindrical. That's something to remember for the skeletal. Just like I told you about the heart and the intercalated discs. This one is important. Okay, non-striated muscle fibers. Is it going to be the quadricep muscle, the intestine, the heart, or the pectoralis major, right? Non-striated muscle fibers. Non-striated, I'm going to say the intestines, okay? Correct. Very good. And there you go. And it tells you why. It tells you about the cardiac and the skeletal, okay? Muscles attached to the bones through a joint, cartilage, a tendon, or a ligament. So I'm looking at these two, and I'm gonna pick tendon because I've already ingrained it in my head that ligament is bone to bone. All right, so I know it's a tendon, and it's also in the lessons that I already did. So there we go. And thank you guys for watching this. It makes me feel good to be able to share this, okay? And it also is really good practice, right? The rod-like structures that make up muscle fibers is called. The rod-like structure that makes up muscle fibers is called, not this. That's not it. That's not it. Myofibrils, okay? And there's your explanation. If you want to read it, pause the video. And I plan to take my HesiA. I've taken it once already, but it's over a year old, guys. And so it's not going to be accepted for when I apply. So I'm planning to take mine at the end of April. The functional unit of the myofibril is called actin, myosin, Z-line, or sarcomere. I'm picking sarcomeres. Let's check. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. Okay, good. I was kind of thinking, oh, is it myosin? Okay, and it tells you the correct answer and why, okay, and it gives you an explanation. Read it, pause it, and read it. Okay, let's move on to which group of muscles is increasing, wait a minute. Which group of muscle increases the angle at a joint? Which group of muscle increases the angle at a joint? Is it a flexor? It's gonna increase, right? So we're not bringing it in and flexing our muscles, showing them off, right? Is it an abductor? Is it a pronator? Abductor, pronators, or extensors? It's increasing the angle at a joint, so I'm gonna pick extension, right? All right, there we go. And look at this list here. Make sure you all pause if you want to take notes. Okay, it tells you everything. Okay, all the different muscle, diversion, external, pronation, supination, everything's there. Okay, the pectoralis major pulls the arm towards the midline. This movement is called the pectoralis major. That's your chest, and it's pulling the arm towards the pectoralis major. Yeah, those are those muscles there. They're pecs, and it's pulling the arm towards the midline. Okay, so is that flexion? No. Supination? No. Abduction? It's pulling towards. Adduction. That's how I remember towards. And it's adding to the body, right? So that's my little trick. And there it is. Bingo. And there's your explanation. And here we go again with these. Just make sure you pause it and take notes, right? You want to memorize it. Which of the following describes flexion? Flexion. Okay, pulls towards the midline, pulls away from the midline. Does it increase the angle at a joint or decrease the angle at a joint? When I think about flexion, I think about this guy, you know, holding his arms up and flexing his muscles. So it's gonna decrease the muscle, okay? So I'm gonna pick decreases the angle at the joint. And there it is, correct. And it gives you a little explanation, and we go through this list again, which it's very good about, you know, this one here is very good about repeating, and so you learn it. Which of the following terms and descriptions is correctly paired? Abduction reduces the angle at a joint? No. Adduction is towards the midline? That one may confuse you a little bit, right? Flexion increases the angle at a joint. We know that's not true. Extension in away from the midline. Extension away from the midnight. No, wait a minute. I'm gonna say it's adduction towards the midline because you're adding and you're coming in, right? Yay. That one was a little confusing to me. Some of you may be saying, why? I knew right away, right? And that's perfectly fine, right? That's why we're doing this together. Which of the following is not part of the thin myofilament? Is it troponin, tropomyosin, myosin, or actin? I'm picking myosin because I remember it in my study, in the lessons, right? And there you go. It tells you the thick filament is composed of myosin, so it wouldn't be in the thin filament, right? And there you go. Let's keep going. Almost done here. Which of the following cleaves ATP to generate energy for muscle contraction? Cleaves ATP. Oh my goodness. That's a good question. Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I'm gonna get this right. It cleaves to ATP to generate, cleaves ATP. Myosin. I gotta really get that one in my head. There we go. This one threw me off. Now this one's gonna tell you the process of the muscle contraction. So it's a good time to pause here, right? So that you can have this, because you may get this question on your HesiA, all right? Moving on. Whew. Which is the role of the calcium in muscle contraction? What is the role of calcium in muscle contraction? Does calcium bind to actin to initiate the formation of cross bridges between myosin and actin? Calcium binds to troponin and leads to the uncovering of the active site of actin. Calcium binds to tropomyosin and leads the uncovering of the active site of actin. Calcium binds to myosin to initiate the formation of cross bridges between myosin and actin. I'm picking this one because I remember it from my lesson. It is calcium binds to troponin and leads to the uncovering of the active site of actin. Let's find out if this. Oh yes, thank you. Oh my goodness. And this is what you need to remember, right? Right there. Okay, in the muscle contraction, how it occurs. During muscle contraction, here we go with another one. Calcium molecules are released from what? Okay, another one. Where do they release from? Is it this right here, the sarcoplasmic reticulum? Am I gonna get this, my first wrong one? Let's check. All right, I hope you can still hear me. My AirPod just died. All right, I got it right. Thank you. And of course, it's gonna tell you right here in the process, okay? And there it is. Contraction occurs because of cross bridges between myosin and what? Is it troponin, tropomyosin, actin, or calcium? Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, number 16. I'm gonna pick actin. I'm still trying to remember what we just saw there, which is the, there we go, which is this little formula or whatever that was down here where it was telling you the action potential and how it occurs, right? Oh my goodness, no. Which of the following correctly describes the process of muscle contraction? Is it action? I just talked about action potential. It always starts with action potential, okay, guys? I gotta let you know that, all right? And then you gotta read through this. Cross bridges between actin and myosin, release of calcium, binding of calcium, right? Read these, okay? I'm gonna give you a minute to read them or pause, right? And I'm gonna say action potential, okay, release of calcium, then the calcium will bind. So this doesn't say release of calcium. Release of calcium, then calcium binds to the proteins. Then here we go, it cross bridges between actin and myosin occur, filament uses energy from ATP to slide together for the contraction. I'm picking this one right here, guys. All right. And there it is. And it's going to give you the whole thing right there again. So pause, and there it is. Which of the following muscles is under voluntary control? Keyword being voluntary. Is the heart a voluntary? No, the heart is not a voluntary muscle. Tricep muscles, muscles in the bladder, muscles in the artery. I'm gonna pick triceps because you have to flex it, so it has to be a voluntary, right? You have to do it. There we go. It's kind of funny because, you know, when you flex and contract the muscle, we just saw the whole, what really is happening just for that to happen. If that makes sense, you have to have an action potential. You know, you have to have the release of calcium. All that is happening for that little bit of movement when you flex your muscles, right? Which of the following are correctly paired skeletal muscles? Our body's just amazing. It really is. Which of the following are correctly paired skeletal muscles? Okay. Abductors and extensors. Adduction and flexors. Pronator and supinator. Internal rotator and everters. And I'm going to say pronator and supinator because these two basically do go together. All these others do not. Okay, let's go ahead and check. And there you go. Correct. And look, here it's going to tell you which ones go together. So if you need to memorize that, pause. Okay. And here it goes over this list again. Very nice. Which of the following correctly describes synergistic muscles? Synergy to me is working together right off the bat, okay? Something that works together, all right? Muscles that produce no movement around a movable joint. Muscles that produce similar movement as the primary mover. Muscles that return the limb to its original position. Or muscles that oppose the primary mover. So synergy and muscles that produce similar movement. They're working together, right? There we go. And there is your answer. If you want to pause and read. Oh, we're done. Yay. And they're all correct, guys. And this is the reason why I do these, because you can take these tests over and over and over. I'm going through all the systems right now. When I get done, then it's gonna have a mock HesiA for me to take for everything that I've studied, okay? Thank you for watching, and please comment on the bottom if you're benefiting from this or not. I could even do this on live, okay? Thank you, and have a great day.